Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier and the second installment in my report on my experience at the French Laundry. I don't really exactly remember I said yet about this yesterday, so excuse me if I repeat myself. But, there's some things in life that's almost impossible for the reality to measure up to your expectations. And I think in this case that it is that it's almost impossible from my experience at the French Laundry the last night tonight, well, night before last night and tonight to measure up to what I hoped it would be. And I think similarly, it's almost impossible for the restaurant to measure up to what the guest hope is for their experience because what they're expecting is, you know, something truly extraordinary and amazing. And I can tell you that my experience at the French Laundry the last two nights and hopefully again tonight has been way beyond what I hoped it would be. Life-changing may be too strong in a word, but unforgettable, definitely. And I think the experience of the guests is that too, is in spite of the almost impossible to meet expectations that you have dining at the French Laundry. I think they meet those expectations all night long, every night. The attention to detail, the precision, the teamwork, the everyone's understanding exactly what their role is, the incredible attention to cleanliness is really staggering. I mean, they encourage guests to go into the kitchen and watch the kitchen during service. And it's an amazing experience being off to the side in the kitchen watching the chefs work because number one, everything looks like a hospital operating room in terms of the sanitation. But also, there's never a raised voice. There's never any impatience. There's no real stress. It's so well organized and everybody's understanding of what their role is very clear, and they just deliver. I don't think that I've seen a party wait 5 minutes between courses in my two nights at the French Laundry, in spite of the fact that they're serving 1,000 plates of food a night, about um, at the highest level. I mean, it's all for the sommelier. It's almost a challenge because there's so little time between two courses that it's hard to get new glasses on the table, old glasses off the table, and the wine poured before the next course comes, which is important. I had friends there for dinner last night. They didn't know I was going to be there. That was a big surprise and really fun when they found out that I was going to be the sommelier at their table. I mean, that's the only table that I was the actual sommelier at. There's, a limit to what they're going to ask me to do or allow me to do on a 3-night stage. But anyway, I selected I and a sommelier named Taylor and I selected the wines for them based on their the kind of wines they like and what their budget was, and they were blown away by the wines. And um, one thing I wasn't aware of until I did this 3 nights or two nights now here is that each guest, I always assume when I've eaten at the French Laundry, I have always ordered the wine pairing, and I assumed that the wine pairing was the same for every guest on a given night because the menu's the same. But that's not the truth. The sommelier goes to the table, talks to the guest about what kind of wines they enjoy, what they'd like to experience, and what their budget is. And every party receives a different program of wine pairings for the meal that they have based on their budget and their predilections. That's an incredibly complex thing to do when you're serving that many courses and that many people, but they pull it off. When I got to work yesterday, this is just an example of the attention to detail. When I came in yesterday, there was a guy out front wiping off the leaves, kind of polishing the leaves of the eucalyptus tree outside the front door. Imagine if the trees outside are that clean, how clean the inside of the restaurant is. Imagine the attention to detail if that is being done on a daily basis. It's extraordinary. And then there's just the incredible quality, the incredible attention to detail, the precision, the beauty of every plate is so beautiful. Every piece of food is so delicious. The, there's the three iconic dishes, the salmon cornet and the oysters and pearls and the coffee and donuts that Thomas is so famous for. But, every dish is just the bread. The bread is the best bread you've ever eaten in your life with this really, really delicious butter. So anyway, it's been incredible. It's probably too strong to say it's life-changing, but it's certainly unforgettable. Certainly an unforgettable experience. And I know when I get back to St. Paul, a lot of people are going to ask me about my experience. And I don't know, unless they have an hour to let me tell them about my experience, I don't know how to even explain what this has been. Well, thank you for tuning in for Adventures of Black Belt Sommelier. I cannot recommend highly enough. If you can afford it and you have an opportunity to be in the Napa Valley, to be in Yountville, California, take advantage of the opportunity to have dinner at this truly extraordinary restaurant, the French Laundry. And if you can't quite make the cost of the French Laundry, go to Bouchon. It's a Michelin 2-star restaurant. It's French bistro and it's perfect. It's perfect. Thanks for tuning in for Adventures of Black Belt Sommelier. And come see me at Four Paws. It's not the French Laundry, but it's pretty darn good.